Hi, I'm Mitch Gallagher. Welcome to the Sweetwater Minute. This time out, Nick DiVirgilio sits down with Mike Ciprari from SJC Drums to discuss how Mike and his brother Scott founded the company at their grandmother's place, how the company grew with help from Panic at the Disco, and all about their custom drums. Check this out.
How you doing, everybody? Nick DiVirgilio here. I have a very special guest in studio today, Mike Ciprari. Did I say that correctly?
You did. Thank you.
Just want to make sure. Co-owner, co-founder of SJC Drums. We're really excited here at Sweetwater to have SJC under the Sweetwater umbrella as a new brand for us. Now, the C stands for Ciprari, but the SJ stands for your brother Scott.
Correct.
Now, a lot of our viewers may not know your brand yet. I'm sure they will soon. Why don't we start from the beginning and tell us the SJC story?
Awesome. Yeah, so the year was 2000. My brother and I just started playing drums when we were kids. Kind of a funny story, sibling rivalry. I got a drum set when I was 9. My brother wanted to play it. I said, no, don't touch my drums. So he was like, all right, fine. He went and got a drum set from my cousin. She had a really old kit in her attic, so we kind of ripped it apart, spray painted the hardware, painted the shells, and looked really cool.
Right.
It was rad. So I was jealous. I was like, dude, can you do that to mine? And he was like, nope, leave me alone. So we were constantly battling over like whose drum set was cooler and stuff like that. And he got really into just refurbishing drums and like figuring out what woods made a different tone, and if I cut a different bearing edge or I do this and that, what's it gonna do to the drum? And he took a small corner of my grandma's basement. She lived right behind our house. Her and my great grandma built a house behind where we grew up. And he just built a little workshop there, and I was always tagging along, watching what he was doing, so I just thought it was so cool.
Now, is he older than you?
He's a year older than me, yeah. So, sibling rivalry was just at its finest. Even now, still we're in our 30s, but it still exists. But yeah, so I was just tagging along, and I started to market for him without even really knowing it. I was going out talking to kids at school or the marching band or whoever I knew who played the drums. I was like, look what my brother's doing. It's really cool. So we just started doing it, and he started building some drums from scratch. We'd order the raw components and put it together, and just became the mastermind of building stuff and figuring out how to do it. And I was marketing for him, so it was like a perfect yin and yang effect where we were just kind of building this business without even knowing it. It was a hobby and a passion, and yeah, word of mouth spread, and the service that we gave and the quality of the product, spoke for itself, and we just continued to grow it.
Well, as you can tell by the look of this drum, you guys make some fantastic stuff.
Thank you.
Now, were you, as young kids, were you tinkerers? I mean, how did you get into the woodworking? Or how did he get into the woodworking side of it? I mean,
I don't know.
Learning how that all goes together.
It's so weird. Like, no one in our family is a musician, and no one in our family was a craftsman. So for him to go do that was just so weird. We look back at it. He was a tinkerer. Yeah, he took that small corner of my grandma's basement and then took the whole basement. He was buying router tables and table saws and powder coating guns and just learning how to do it. Like, he bought some paint guns and just figured it out. Like, even like the barbershop finishes, he was always cutting things up and trying to do it. I'm not a hands-on guy. I would not have all 10 fingers if I was trying to build drums with him. It just, like I said, worked out where he was the mastermind with building an awesome instrument, and I was just out there, the people person, talking to people and I guess doing A&R, getting some guys playing our drums.
Right. You came here today at Sweetwater to do the sales presentation to the sales engineers, and it was a lot of great information you were giving there. One of the main things that got SJC kind of on the world map, the world stage, was the MTV performance by Panic at the Disco.
Yeah.
Right? And I was thinking back about, I know it's sort of the same, maybe a little bit different, but when Ringo played with the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show, I was hanging out with Bill Ludwig just a couple days ago.
Awesome.
He's making snare drums, WFL snare drums.
Yep.
And he was telling me the story of that thing, how Ringo being on TV, on national TV with their drums, just blew up their drums. They couldn't make them fast enough. And that's kind of what you were saying when Panic at the Disco was on the MTV, was it the Music Awards? Or
Yeah, the VMAs in 2006.
The VMAs, and they played, and all of a sudden, SJC was really starting to fly off the shelves.
Yeah, it was around 2000 when my brother started to kind of tinker with making the drums, and through networking, I made my way into Panic at the Disco's management. So I knew them, and Scott from Crush Management called me. I'll never forget, I was driving on Main Street in Webster back from the hardware store getting some bolts or whatever for a badge that we didn't have in stock. And he calls me, he's like, we've got this new band, Panic at the Disco. They're recording in Maryland right now with Matt Squire. I was a huge fan of Matt Squire, so I was just like, all right, cool. This sounds like it's going to be something. They need a drum set. They need it next week. So I went back and I told my brother, I'm like, we got to make this kit real fast. We made it for him. And Panic at the Disco, as I'm sure you know, is a very extravagant band. Their stage show is incredible. It's over the top, and they want their drums to match that. And so they were always calling us being like, we need this crazy kit, a light up kit that looks like wood with these crazy scroll hoops and everything. And we were up for the challenge, and we did it. And in 2006, they played the MTV VMAs, and I mean, other than the fact that it was amazing to sit in my parents' living room and watch on TV, you know, our drums that were made basically in our backyard in Grandma's house, just really cool.
Yeah.
And the phones were ringing off the hook after that. People were like, "What is that drum company? Like, I want one of those. That's so cool." So, yeah, that was the real shining moment for us when things kind of clicked, and I was like, "Okay, we're kind of a company now. This is it."
And Dan Palovich, their drummer,
Yep.
was here just last year while they were touring around and telling me we didn't carry SJC at that point, but now we do, so I'm sure he's going to be very happy about that and get him back here again. But I saw them twice playing your drums when they were local here, and they sounded killer on stage. Yeah, it was really good. So congratulations for that.
Thank
Now,
you.
that was 10 years ago, almost 11 years ago now.
Yep.
And you guys are really raising the bar big time with your products. You got hardware, the drums are off the chain. How did you guys get into all of the custom features that you can make on your drums? I don't know if the people may not know yet, but you can really get some really crazy things done. With almost whatever you can think of, you can get done with your drums.
Yeah, luckily we've been able to work with really creative people like Dan and Panic and Brennan and all those guys that were always pushing the boundary. And so we saw a void in the market for, you know, a drummer wanted a really great sounding drum set that's going to be tour worthy and he can bring it to the studio and all that, but he wanted it to look different. They wanted their own identity. And it got to a point where, like, I think some of the drummers that were in the same circle with each other were like, I'm going to one-up you. You just got this really cool light-up kit. I want mine to look like the Back to the Future DeLorean. I want mine to look like a Jaws, you know, drum set with the teeth and everything. And we just kind of took on that challenge and went nuts. And I kind of draw it out with the drummer and give it to my brother and the guys. And I'm like, build it. You know, they need it in a week or 2 weeks. I'm sorry, but like, do it. And I think that you know, accepting those challenges, the word of mouth spread where the drummer's playing this kit, it sounds phenomenal. They got that great service and they were telling all their friends, and then all their friends are calling us trying to one up each other and get the craziest drum set ever. So yeah, we enjoy taking on challenges because things that haven't been done before, it you know, makes us think in a different way and kind of reinvent the wheel and how drums are presented. So it's been cool.
Well, I mean, this snare drum is a perfect case for that because this wrap, this isn't one flat piece of wrap with it spiraling this way. These are separate pieces that you guys put on there.
Yep, our guys are great. They'll cut them. I mean, really the angle that you wrap it around is really what gives it that great barbershop effect. And I've seen it done different ways where it doesn't look good. It's at a 45-degree angle, and it's like, all right, if you want that barbershop effect, you know, there's a certain way that you have to wrap that by hand. And our guys have perfected the craft at finish work. It's awesome seeing it.
Yeah, some real artisans at your company.
Totally, yeah.
We were talking about the social media aspect of your company and how you're really big into that, and the Warped Tour. SJC is in a good spot with a lot of the young players and the young bands today. 21 Pilots, they're playing your drums, a lot of young hip bands. So how is the social media side of the company growing your business?
Yeah, I mean, social is everything in this day and age. I mean, there's a lot of companies I think that unfortunately don't see the power in it. It's free. You know, you don't have to do paid advertising or retargeting. You can use all the applications and Snapchat, Instagram, all that's free. And we're very proud to have grown an organic fan base of, you know, over 500,000 people that want to follow our brand, not just seeing pictures of our drums, but we're engaging in them. That's the most important thing, where if they're giving us feedback and we're always asking questions, what do you guys want to see us do next? What's your favorite finish? You know, what do you want us to do with hardware? What festival should we show up at and show you guys our drums? And we literally answer and read every single person that writes back to us on there. When MySpace came out in, I don't even remember, maybe like 2004, you know, I took my handheld camera, my little digital camera, and we'd go around and do a little shop tour, a little vlog, and showing, you know, customers, hey, this is your drum in production, check it out. And it took on kind of a funny, you know, turns, and things would happen, and we'd upload it onto MySpace, and customers loved it. It's that engaging factor where it's huge. It makes you more real. You know, you can buy a product, it's a huge investment, but to get that engagement and feel like you're part of something bigger than just an inanimate object, you know. Obviously this turns into great music, which is great, but feeling like you're part of something, and us blasting out, you know, a kid who his favorite drummer is Trey Cool, posting a photo of him with Trey Cool, or posting a photo of him and his band on our Instagram, when we just posted a thing of Trey Cool. Like, he's part of that. He's right next to that, and he feels equally as cool and as important. And it is. They are as important as our biggest drummers out there. So
that's fantastic. I want to tell everybody, if you want to see some killer pictures of the SJC drums on your website, your drum kit gallery page is ridiculous. There's so many really cool looking drum kits, so you can just get an idea of what you can have made by you guys.
Totally.
And I know we're going to have the custom kit builder here at Sweetwater, so you can pretty much get anything you want done through us here directly with you guys and customized to your heart's content.
Yeah, and if you don't see it on there, talk to the sales engineers and we'll make it happen.
Cool.
We've done stuff where take a picture of your shirt, we can print it over a diamond, we can print it over the wood, anything you want, any color, design, pattern, we can do it.
So how hard was it to find the artisans like that to bring on to the company? I mean, was it all local? You guys are in Massachusetts.
Yep.
So how was it? Did you find everybody local around there, or I mean, how'd that process happen?
Kind of funny backstory. It was all my friends at the beginning, which is like business mistake number one that I learned. I wasn't the best businessman or leader growing up. And it was all my friends from high school or drummers from around town, and that became sort of toxic and hard to work with when you're trying to grow the company and you're changing the culture and you're changing things to grow the company and do better. So it was, we had those guys at the beginning that gave their heart and soul and helped build the company. But when it came time to, I guess, flush it out and like rebuild the company to get to this next step so that we can work with people like Sweetwater and really handle the influx of orders that we're getting. A lot of the guys just came to us. We've got Louis is a phenomenal drum builder. He worked at a very, very old drum company in Western Massachusetts for a long time, building their shells and doing their paint. Right. He called me. We met through Bill Stevenson at the Blasting Room. We were mutual friends, and he gave me a call, and we hired him. He's a master craftsman. He's built houses and kitchens and drums and everything, and he's a phenomenal drummer. So we've been lucky to attract really great talent. And we've been able to keep a lot of our guys from the beginning. Most of our guys have been with us for 10 plus years. Right. So the same guy cutting the bearing edge every day, he's honing in on his craft every single day for 10 years, which is phenomenal.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, we're in Massachusetts, so it's not we're not in the boonies or anything like that. So we've got great talent and great artisans and great craftsmen, and we're in a pretty cool historic mill area. So there's a lot of history there. So it's a thing that everybody's proud of. So it's cool.
That's killer, man. So now, what's the future hold? What's the next step? You're here at Sweetwater now. That's going to be a big step, hopefully, for your company. I think it will be for sure.
Yeah.
And what do you see in the future?
Yeah, we've got big plans. So, we're still a small, young, eager growing company, and Sweetwater is a massive step for us, getting our product line out there. We've been known for just custom drums, and we've got a whole product line that Sweetwater is launching first, which is great. So we've got different price points for different genres and different styles and ages players. We're moving into a much larger facility. We're quadrupling the size of our warehouse this fall, which is going to allow us more efficiencies. So our turnaround time is going to go down. We're bringing on shell presses, so we're going to start making our own shells. We've been doing drummers workshops with Dan from Panic and a bunch of the other guys that play our drums and drum techs so that we can make innovative hardware. What are some of your pain points and what are some of the things that you hate every time you set up your drums? We want to be able to, come up with a solution for that. Sure. So the next couple of years are going to be really exciting. Bringing on more people, bringing on some more artists. So we've got a couple big names that are going to be coming on later this year. So. We're really excited, and after 17 years of doing it, and all the trials and tribulations and ups and downs, the fire is lit very, very hot right now inside me, and we're all very passionate, and the future is bright, and we're really looking forward to a successful partnership with Sweetwater. So
cool. Well, we are too, and I'll be doing videos on pretty much everything as soon as possible. The drums are here now, so I can kind of get my hands and feet behind them. I have to tell you that the hardware you guys are making. The pedals felt really nice and smooth. Awesome. The cymbal stands looked great, along with the drums. So I can't wait to get my hands on them and play and make some music with them too. So you'll be seeing those videos out very soon as well. Cool. Thank you so much, Mike, for being here, and congratulations on your company and your products. So and good luck with the future.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks, Sweetwater.
Thanks, guys.
I hope you enjoyed this interview with Mike Ciprari from SJC Drums. Thanks to Nick DiVirgilio for conducting the interview, and be sure to check out these drums at sweetwater.com. You're going to be very impressed with SJC's work. I'm Mitch Gallagher. Thanks for joining me for the Sweetwater Minute.